At the heart of Christian theology lies the conviction that humanity is created imago Dei, in the image of God. This concept, rooted in Genesis and interpreted dynamically across centuries, contains both an affirmation of human dignity and a limit to human freedom. To be made in God's image is to carry a sacred value not of our own making, and a responsibility to reflect divine qualities such as love, creativity, and stewardship. Transhumanism, however, seems to propose a bold reversal, that humans, through reason and ingenious tools, might not merely bear a likeness to God but edge closer to wielding godlike powers, of knowledge, healing, even of immortality. The Singularity, with its vision of superintelligent agents and self-directed evolution, intensifies this ambition. For some Christians, this evokes echoes of theological warnings, from the Tower of Babel to the age-old temptation to be as gods. Yet perhaps the tension is not solely adversarial. The Christian vision has always grasped for more than what is, it too has hoped for a world renewed and bodies transformed. Throughout history, Christianity has demonstrated flexibility in engaging with new powers and possibilities, distinguishing between those that serve the good, the furtherance of life, justice, and communion, and those that threaten to distort or diminish it. Augustine's reflections on the purposes of earthly knowledge, Aquinas' assimilation of Aristotelian reason into theology, even the medieval embrace of medical science, all suggest a pattern of measured engagement rather than blanket rejection. The challenge, then, is discernment, which technological pursuits echo the Christian hope for healing and redemption, and which risk substituting hubris for humility, technical might for moral wisdom. Transhumanism's promise to defeat disease, enhance mental capacities, and perhaps defer death itself might be heard, from a Christian standpoint, as a laudable desire, one consonant, at least in part, with the redemptive mission of Christ, understood in patristic theology as healing broken humanity and indeed, through resurrection, inaugurating a new mode of existence. Yet the Christian path to transformation is not through mastery of matter alone, but by self-giving love and participation in divine life. Technology that eases suffering can be seen as a gift to be stewarded. But the attempt to secure immortality by technological means recasts the Christian story. It shifts the locus of hope from the sovereignty and grace of God to the calculable, programmable ingenuity of humanity. Moreover, the Singularity ushers in questions not only of personal transformation, but of community and agency. Christianity is fundamentally relational, both in its vision of God as Trinity and in its teaching that people are responsible for and to one another. Superintelligent machines, if ever achieved, might force us to reconsider what it means to be a moral subject, a neighbor, even a person. Here, theological reflection can sharpen the ethical debate: will artificial minds possess true consciousness, or merely the simulation of it? What responsibility do humans bear for the actions of entities we have created? In answering these questions, Christians might recall the concept of stewardship, dominion not as exploitation, but as care for creation, and the warning that knowledge unfettered from wisdom can lead to alienation or worse. There is, too, an eschatological dimension, the Christian vision of ultimate fulfillment. Transhumanism, for all its technological optimism, bears striking resemblance, in both hope and anxiety, to religious apocalyptic, prophesying radical transformation, even transcendence of biology and finitude. Yet Christianity insists that redemption is not the achievement of human will alone, it remains a gift, inaugurated by Christ's triumph over death, and consummated at the end of history, not through technological triumph but divine renewal. The uniqueness of each person, the irreducibility of relationship, and the sanctity of mortality all find their grounding not in the avoidance of death, but in the promise that death itself is not final. This introduces a decisive skepticism of any technological utopia that promises heaven on earth through circuitry and code. This is not to retreat into technophobia or disengagement. Rather, Christian tradition at its finest does not fear the new, but seeks to shape it in the light of the gospel. The challenge posed by the Singularity and transhumanism is to recover what it means to be truly human, dependent, relational, finite, yet capable of love and creativity beyond the algorithms. As theologian Dietrich Bonhoeffer wrote in The Shadow of Another Era's Technologies, the ultimate question for a responsible man to ask is not how he is to extricate himself heroically from the affair, but how the coming generation is to live. In that spirit, Christian response need not reject science or technology, but rather infuse it with concern for justice, for the dignity of all people, and for the humility to admit that some mysteries, and some hopes, lie beyond calculation. In the coming age, Christianity may be called not only to critique the excesses of technological ambition, but to inspire ways of using these new powers to heal and uplift without losing sight of our essential dependence on grace. At stake is the meaning of humanity itself, whether we are destined to engineer our own salvation or, more paradoxically, to discover, through the creative and perilous use of our freedom, that our highest destiny lies not in surpassing our limits, but in being transformed by a love that cannot be programmed.